Hey everyone, Alpha Eagle here again. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well and may God bless you all. Even when someone is a bad person or a person you disagree with, they still can be right on some things. Regarding the Russell Brand situation, when I first knew about him, I liked him. I think the first thing I saw him in is Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and I liked that movie. And then I learned about his personal life and his political views, and then I disliked him. Now I see him in his live streams, and I kind of like him now, or at least I like what he says. So I go back and forth whether I like him or not, and make no mistake, he is not right wing, and his personal life is nothing to admire. Also, I want to be clear that if the allegations against him are true, then screw that guy. He's much like RFK. RFK is left wing, but he's right regarding the certain medication for the certain illness. Even though I don't hold Russell Brand or RFK in high regard, I can still admit when they are right. And it's a broken clock situation. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. And that's what we have here with the video we'll be going over today. Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks was right about Russell Brand. As usual, I'll put a link to the full video in the description, so let's begin.
Now, why now? He did all of this stuff when he was a megastar, and as he pointed out, part of basically what is, in essence, mainstream media. So why didn't they investigate him back then?
I can't believe that a commie like Cenk is making sense. Great question, Cenk. Why didn't the media go after Russell Brand when he was part of the establishment in the mainstream media? Because they don't go after their own. As long as he says all the right things, they will leave him alone. Once they can no longer use you, they'll throw you under the bus. We saw this with Harvey Weinstein. Hollywood was letting him get away with sexual assault for decades. They protected him so strongly that they literally worshipped him as a god.
See them. So I just want to thank my agent, Kevin Uvain, and God, Harvey Weinstein.
But they threw him under the bus as soon as they could use him to kickstart their Me Too movement, to weaponize supposed victims, to go after any target they want. And in this case, their target is now Russell Brand.
So one of the things that I looked at was, how did this whole thing start? And they explain in one of the stories, they say, reporters have been looking into him aggressively. Okay, I mean, I'd like to know more details. If the women came up to the reporters and said, I need this investigated, then yes, they should definitely do that, and they should be as aggressive as possible, etc. But if they went looking for women, that doesn't mean he didn't do it, right? But why didn't they go looking for women when he was a star on mainstream media?
First, why are these women going to reporters first instead of the police? That's strange. But Cenk asks another great question. Who went to who first? Did these women go to the reporters first to tell their story, or did the so-called reporters specifically target Russell Brand and went looking for dirt on him? By the way, I can almost guarantee that the mainstream media paid these women to tell their story. Any one of them could write a book and make millions off of it.
When he was actually doing these things. So
I think it's a moot point, honestly. I really do. I really think it's a moot point.
I don't think it's moot at all.
You want to know something? If you don't want to face terrible news reports and documentaries and potential criminal charges in regard to rape as an anti-establishment, firebrand, maybe don't rape anyone.
God bless it. That was the dumbest thing I think Anna has ever said. First, she already thinks he's guilty before any evidence has been presented. So far, all we've seen is accusations. Secondly, that is the same old anti-male feminist argument of, oh, we should be teaching men to not assault women. As if there's anyone who actually condones sexual assault.
To me, there's a second component of the story that has nothing to do with Russell Brand. That has to do with how mainstream media reacts to certain stories. So if someone is in power and is making them money, they do not investigate them. They do not do that, okay? And if someone's annoying them or is an outsider or says things they don't like, all of a sudden, they said they went and talked to hundreds of women that he's been with, and they got these 4, right?
Now, does that remind you of anyone else, Cenk? Anyone at all? Donald Trump was once part of the establishment and the elite. He supported the candidates they wanted him to support. He said all the right things, and they even put him in movies and TV shows. But as soon as he stepped out of line and fought back against them, they came after him and weaponized supposed victims to make their false accusations against him, and all those women were paid as well.
So that's why I'm asking, did the women come to you? In which case, great job on the reporting. I'm being like 100% great job. If they went and interviewed hundreds of women looking for 4 women or however many women that'll testify against them, that's weird.
Exactly, Cenk. That is weird. Now, let's see if Cenk can put 2 and 2 together.
And I'm not worried about Russell Brand. I'm worried about, is this what they systematically do? And I think that it's not a conspiracy, guys. It's not a conspiracy. There's no one, the deep state is not telling Channel 4 in the UK. Which deep state, right? I don't want people to mistake what I'm saying.
Almost had it, Cenk. You were right there and then you dropped the ball. It absolutely was the deep state that did this. It wasn't just one outlet that reported this story, but all of the UK media. And they are all currently colluding to have Russell Brand silenced. YouTube has already demonetized him. And they did the same thing with Alex Jones. Alex Jones was a big part of getting Trump elected. So they all colluded to have him purged from social media. His accounts were all closed all at the same time on multiple platforms, and nobody finds that suspicious?
It's just that there's a group thing with editors. If someone is an outsider and has no power, let's go try to find something wrong with them. If someone is powerful and inside the system, let's not try to find anything wrong with them. In fact, if someone brings us something, be super skeptical about it. And you saw that with the allegations against Biden back in 2020. When there was
Cenk, but you're conflating U.S. media with media in the UK, which works a little differently.
The mainstream media is the same all over the world. They are all propaganda for the deep state.
No one in the world, and certainly not me, is arguing that they shouldn't have done due diligence. Of course they should.
You never do your due diligence, Cenk. If you did, you wouldn't be doing propaganda for the deep state all the time.
Is the exact opposite question.
By the way,
hold on, let me finish the thought.
By the way,
Look at his face. He's so tired of her interrupting him and saying something stupid. Now, to be fair to Anna, it's usually the other way around, and Cenk is saying something stupid.
If it was such an open secret that Russell Brand was doing this when he was a big star, why didn't you investigate that? Women didn't matter back then? No, he's making everybody money, 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 money. You don't investigate him then. The minute he steps outside of the money-making machine, let's go get the son of a bitch, right? So let's make up our minds. Do we care about it or don't we care about it? If you care about it, you should do it equally to everyone.
It's about half right here. Yes, it is about money, but it's more about the message. It's because Russell Brand says stuff like the following that they want to shut him up.
Out of respect for you and your show, I've brought some facts. The created at least 40 new big pharma billionaires. Pharmaceutical corporations like Moderna and Pfizer made $1,000 of profit every second from the. More than two-thirds of Congress received campaign funding from pharmaceutical companies in the 2020 election. Pfizer chairman Albert Bourla told Time magazine in July 2020 that his company was developing a for the good of humanity, not for money. And of course, Pfizer made $100 billion in profit in 2022. And may I just mention, finally, and this is also a fact, that you, the American public, funded the development of that. The German public funded the BioNTech. When it came to the profits, they took the profits. When it came to the funding, you paid for the funding. All I'm querying is this.
Yes.
Is if you have an economic system in which pharmaceutical companies benefit hugely from medical emergencies, where a military-industrial complex benefits from war, where energy companies benefit from energy crises, you are going to generate states of perpetual crisis, where the interests of ordinary people separate from the interests of the elite.
And they found something that is very bad and that Russell Brand should be held accountable for. Accountable means you try him and you see if you can convict him in court. Do you have enough evidence for that, okay? So good journalism on that. I'm not asking you to not do that journalism. I'm asking you to do that journalism when people are in power and you're scared of them and you're a little concerned about blowback.
That's exactly what Russell Brand is doing, Cenk. He's doing journalism that is pushing back against the powerful.
And so I don't know how they do it in the UK, but here in America, God forbid, no one in power, almost no one in power ever gets investigated unless they pissed off the establishment.
Again, that's exactly what Russell Brand did. He pissed off the establishment. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I'm Alpha Eagle. God bless you for watching. God bless America. And I pray that Cenk puts 2 and 2 together for once in his life and realizes that he is the one who is actually working for the establishment.